name is and I'm the CEO of Keyabroad. I am a chairman of standing committee in the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Moreover, I am serving secretary at Rotary Club of Bangalore, and I'm also the part of Science Club and a member of the Club Athletic Club.
What motivated you to start this organization? Or what motivated you to be a consultant?
Well, there are several reasons behind this. Apparently, it was not decided that I am going to be a consultant or I'm going to be in this part. But before initiating this organization, I was a language instructor. I was teaching IELTS and spoken English in the past as well. But after completion of my engineering from University of Agriculture, I was looking for a proper job. Actually, my father also died in the same year, and the jobs offered at that time they were not that much sufficient to meet up the needs of that time. So I decided to move abroad, but my grandmother, she was actually not willing that I should leave this country. So my uncle, he suggested me that not all of the people they go out, they go abroad and they earn money. Allah is saying everywhere, so you should initiate something here. So I initiated with the name of the language gallery in 2014, and we just transformed this name to Keyabroad in the last year.
So what was the reason behind changing the name that you had been using for a long time from the language gallery to Keyabroad?
Initially, we were concerned regarding the language tests and preparation. As we started consultancy in 2019 and 2020, the language gallery was not the right name, as it doesn't give the proper sense that it was not representing a consultancy firm. It was representing a language institute. Later on, we added language gallery consultants and trainers. But I believe that there was still a need to change the name, so we did it.
What countries do you currently deal in?
Majorly, we are dealing UK, and apart from that, we have sent students to in Ireland, Republic of Ireland, Australia. Moreover, we're dealing with Cyprus, France, Malta, Hungary, Spain, US, Mauritius. Almost 11 12 destinations we are currently dealing.
Okay. Well, sir, Mauritius isn't a country that is quite heard of in the past. So what options do you have in your mind about Mauritius?
Mauritius, there is a school, Stephen Business School. It is a collegiate school which is offering a diploma of in tourism and hospitality management. This is for the students who are only matriculate and they don't have a language test. But it is the country Mauritius is in Africa, and this country is known for its highest economy. Moreover, it is near to Europe. So you can say that the students who are not meeting entry requirements anywhere in the world, so they can go there, and there is a good GPD and everything is as compared to other countries. That is good.
Well, sir, it is quite often heard that things in UK aren't as good as they are shown to the people who want to go abroad for studies. Is this true?
It depends on the perspective of an individual. For instance, the people in the very initial days when the UK started PSW in 2020, there were people who went there and they just came back in 2 or 3 months and said that there is no future in UK. But I know lots of people who are surviving there and who have made good fortune in the UK, and they are feeding their families here with a good income. It depends upon the perspective. Even in the Pakistan, we say that we don't have very good opportunities right here, but people are earning a lot, even in these circumstances. So it depends upon the perspective. But as far as the UK is concerned, their GDP, their economy, everything is very high as compared to Pakistan. So there are lots of opportunities. Their wages, they're great. So as far as the question was concerned, then the things are not as they were in the past. You can say the things are changing. There is saturation, the rush is increasing, but still there are lots of opportunities. The students who went through us in the past, they are now calling their family members like brothers, sisters, or the student visas even. So I think the person who is residing in the UK, he is having a more good perspective of the UK as compared to the person who has never been there.
Okay. So, what is the duration of the post-study visa that the student gets?
It's 2 years,
Hmm.
and for the doctorate programs, for PhD programs, it's 3 years.
Okay. And what does PSW mean?
Post study work.
Okay, right. So, sir, what are the qualities that you think must be there in a good consultant to guide a student good enough to reach his required study destination?
A good consultant means that a person who is counseling the student according to his or her needs instead of selling his or her product. For instance, I'm having a university on my panel and I am enforcing this university on everyone or imposing this university on every student, whether it caters him or her not. So, the most important quality is that we have to understand the requirement of the student, and secondly, according to his profile and according to his need, we should place him accordingly. So, I think this is the most important point that a good consultant should have. Apart from this, he should be sportive. He should support the student. He should morally support the student, that how to write his personal statement, how to complete the interviews. At every point at which we should be sportive. Moreover, we have observed in our country, in my city, Faizabad, that most of the consultants, they don't even answer the calls of the students, or they don't even respond to their messages. A good consultant should be responsive and quick responsive, because the students who are spending a lot to go abroad, they are spending their time, they're sacrificing their money, so they should be heard, I think.
Okay. So, sir, how do you think we can beat our competitors?
I believe there is no competition. Everybody has his or her own race. I don't go that much into the competitive analysis. Um, Everyone is good in his or her own way. I think that I should be best. I should have competition with myself. For instance, what I was doing in 2020, then I should have a better 2021. Then later on, the 2025 should be better than all previous years.
Hmm.
I think that I should focus with a competition just with myself instead of doing competition with others.
Okay, so if we get back to the old struggling days of yours, so what were the hurdles that you had to encounter while the formative phase of the institution was going on?
I didn't have the business background of services business background, so I had lots of hurdles and difficulties while establishing this institute or the firm. Initially, the people didn't believe and said to me that I should look for a job. Um, I was even the people used to they they made fun of me sometimes. They're saying that the managing director is coming. These kind of words. Uh, I had the hurdles. For instance, I didn't choose the right place when I started in 2014. It was in the plaza. It wasn't having a good front. Moreover, I didn't know much about the marketing skills and where to market, where to look for my concerned audience. Then afterwards, there was a great challenge of finances. Then I did a partnership in 2015. It wasn't successful because you don't get whatever you're looking for all the time. There are lots of hurdles. I think that I could name for each year that I faced. Afterwards, when I started growing after a struggle of, you can say, 7 years, I faced the problem of team management. After that, I was able to establish a team. Then there was a problem in the management of the team. I had, I was betrayed. There lots of other things happened over the time.
Okay. So, sir, what kept you continue?
Um, the most important thing was that always kept me going on. It was that I have to show, because I was ridiculed. I was, the people made fun of me at many points. So I just had a reason in me that I have to show them. I will do. I can do. That was the only thing that kept me going on.
comparison with your competitors as far as giving maximum facilities to your students is concerned regarding going abroad?
I believe that I am quick responsive and I'm sportive all the time. Alhamdulillah, we have video testimonials of many of our students, even when they were in Pakistan and even when they went abroad, they were in the UK. I don't think that many of the consultants have the video testimonials from the students, and I think that this shows that how much satisfied they were from us. So I think that this makes me different from others.
And sir, what kind of advice would you like to give to the students who want to go abroad for higher education, even if they aren't your clients?
I would recommend they should learn some skill or a couple of skills that can help them when they are in the UK. And in the past, one of our students, he came from UK and he came to meet us, and we just took a short interview of him. He said that every student should try to get a driving license from Pakistan, from this country, and when he reaches there, he should buy a car. He said that lots of companies offer jobs which are in the countryside, so you have to reach, for instance, at 7 o'clock in the morning. So sometimes public transport isn't available, so they are preferring the students or the candidates who are having their own conveyance. So it is better they should have the skill to drive the car, and apart from that, they should have some money. They should take it from home so they can buy a car when they reach there.
Okay. So, sir, like how much time does a student need to go to UK, for instance, soon after he takes or passes the language proficiency exam?
Well, it depends. For instance, we are in the January right now, and the student wants to pursue the September intake. So definitely we have to wait that much long. But if everything is ready and the intake is closed, I think 1 to 3 months are quite sufficient in approaching and getting the things done.
Okay. So, sir, if we talk about UK, so how do the universities, how do the British universities facilitate the international students, whether they are here or they are on the way to UK?
For instance, if a student is getting late in joining a class in time, they offer late arrivals. Many of the universities, they are quite accommodating. The UK university is quite accommodating, and they help students in every phase. They have the open sessions, orientations, and they guide about everything. For instance, if a student is seeking a job, he is looking for the accommodation, he needs any kind of psychological help or anything. The university is quite supportive in the UK.
Okay. So sometimes it happens that the students who reach there, they just feel some sort of alienation symptoms. So how do you think they can overcome that?
It goes with the time. Everyone, for instance, if the people who are quite, extrovert, they can feel the homesickness. They can experience this. With the time, when they indulge in their activities, in their education activities, jobs, so they become quite comfortable while doing things. But it takes time.
So sometimes it happens that the consultants in the home country, sometimes they give or suggest rather fake ways to the students to say pass the exams or go abroad. So do you think those fake things work?
You can say for the time being they can work, but in a longer run, I think that we should avoid such kind of things. I would quote an example. One of my students, he went to UK in a university, and he didn't join that university, and he mailed to the university that he is experiencing some health issue and he won't be able to join the classes, and he's looking for a refund. So he discussed this with me, and he said that the university has responded that if your agent or the consultant says that you are genuinely in that problem, so they can refund you. So he offered me that he paid £8,000 deposit of that university, and he said that I can share 2,000 to 3,000 pounds with you if I get the refund. So you might not believe, honestly speaking, by God, I wrote to the university that he is fine here and he's just lying to get the money. So please don't refund him, and he's not a genuine student. probably have to work in the industry in some of the coming years for many of the years, but I don't think that the student would be able to remain in contact even after a year or even in the coming months. So we look towards working in the longer run instead of doing short term things.
So, what countries do you suggest to the students to go to for higher education, if not UK?
Um, I just came to. I just read an article recently by ISEF Monitor, and it stated that in the past the students' priorities were the settlement, the education, or the field. But right now, for the Pakistan students especially, the major reason or the most important priority is the visa. If we talk about the countries, only UK is granting the visa as compared to Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, US, Canada, and other European countries. But if you ask me to go to another country, depends upon the student profile, and if the student just wants to go and he needs a visa, Cyprus could be a good option. Otherwise, a student can apply, and the visa depends upon his fate or the visa officer.
Well, sir, in the past, many students went to Australia and Canada as well. But these days, why do you think it is harder for the students to get a visa for America, Canada, and Australia?
The visa policies revised. At that time, the policies were quite lenient. They were welcoming the international students, so they had a large number of students traveling to those countries from the different parts of the world. But right now, if we can say that only UK is having a streamlined visa policy for the students, international students, as compared to other countries. That's why they're not having that much number these days.
So, why are there certain restrictions from America and Canada on specifically Pakistani students to get a visa?
If you talk about specifically about Pakistan, I can say that the current economic situation is the more is responsible in case of the visa grant from those countries. Apart from that, the governments change and they decide their own policies. For instance, in the past, the government was about to change in UK, and we were quite concerned that the visa ratio will go down and the visa policies will become more strict in the coming year. But the party which came into the rule, they made things more lenient. I can't say that lenient, but they didn't make it more harder. That's it.
Okay. So, sir, if a person has got his family in Australia or Canada or America, and they strongly recommend that he must come there for higher education, so what do you think he should do?
If a student is applying on a student visa, every country, including UK, they have a concern that student should be a genuine. He should come for studies, and after completing his studies, he should go back to his home country and he should serve there. But if a student is having a family, it arises a concern. The concerns that the student definitely won't go back if he gets a visa because he is having his family here. Especially there. And you can say that most of the students from Pakistan, they just go abroad because they want to be settled there.
If a student is left with only one option, and it is only, say, going to Canada or Australia or America due to certain family reasons or restrictions, so how long do you think that he or she may have to wait for a visa to come after he or she applies?
The turnaround times vary country to country, and if you talk about USA, they give their decision on spot, whereas Australia can take 2 weeks to maybe 12 weeks or more than that even. But if the student wants to go in, it also depends upon the student's profile. For instance, the student has done matric with 50% marks and did his matric like 6 years back, and he is looking towards going to Canada or UK. It's not possible even to get the admission in those countries. So depending upon the profile, we have lots of students who just want to go but they don't have a proper profile and they don't want to improve the profile even. For instance, a student is having the low grades or the low qualification. He can wait at least 2 years or 1 year to get a diploma or make him eligible or to meet the entry requirements. But the question was about the turnaround time it varies. I just mentioned it earlier.
Well, sir, a question has suddenly come to my mind that if a student wishes to join prestigious American institutions like Stanford, for instance, what do you think are the chances that he or she can get admission there?
Again, the student profile. If a student is having proper university degree and having a good GPA, he has done the language test or in some cases GRE or SAT, so he can definitely get the admission.
Okay. And sir, the same applies to Cambridge and Oxford in UK?
Definitely, for instance, our student is having a good profile and he has done the language test with a good score, he can definitely go in any of the university and he can afford the most important thing.
Well, sir, thank you very much. You have given us lots of information and it was really very good speaking to you on this topic. Thanks a lot, and that's all for now. Thank you very much.